Have you ever heard the story about the scientist who used it to create zombies in The Walking Dead? Yeah, he took care of several zombies in a certain region, protecting them from dying to the other survivors and other creatures, increased this population there, and even accepted the idea of zombies taking over humanity. A guy who spent years studying the behavior of zombies, and who even the story of this episode reveals to us the divisions of zombies, that there are different types of zombies for a herd. And of course, although The Walking Dead's zombie outbreak is a disaster, this episode reveals an advantage that it gave to the planet. And in this video I decided to tell the story about this scientist, a very interesting story that many people don't remember, some details, many things, and if you wanna know, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead universe. Yeah, there's like 10 days or more than a week since I made my last video about this universe because we have many points about other shows, but I know you guys love this universe of The Walking Dead and I also have many other contents, many other explanations. Let's talk about another one, but first don't forget to check the like button in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion, and also don't forget to subscribe in this channel so you don't miss any content about this universe of The Walking Dead. And here's the thing, I made a lot of videos here about the web episodes of The Walking Dead, those that were only available online, but recently I started making videos about Tales of The Walking Dead, which tell different stories, and I have some very promising one. I told in a recent video you enjoyed it a lot, the guy who created the bunker managed to survive the beginning of the outbreak well, and who's still alive in this story. If you haven't watched the video, go watch it. But now I want to tell you another one, which is one of the most promising stories we have in this spin-off, which is the story of Dr. Everett. It's a scientist, which we have an episode focused exclusively on him, and we also have a companion there too, but the episode has the main focus on him, and who brings a very interesting proposal to reveal more about the zombies. Basically, Dr. Chauncey Everett, which is his name, is a highly intelligent and analytical individual. He, as a scientist, he values his studies above all, which is even what he talks about there in the episode. And yeah, I can say a curiosity that he was one of the few scientists who survived for a long period of time in this universe of The Walking Dead. One of the few that we know. We have some other examples of other scientists who survived and who are alive in the story for this day. For example, Dr. Ellis from The Walking Dead World Beyond. Then, if you like, I will make a video focused on him and everything we know about him, because he also has a great importance at the beginning of the zombie outbreak in The Walking Dead. If you want, go write in the comments. But back to Dr. Everett, he's a person who, despite that ability and that intelligence, on the other side, he's extremely cynical about humanity. During the story, we begin to realize that he considers the apocalypse as something good for the world, a natural path of things. And even the episode itself presents a benefit to humanity that is real. You can't agree with everything that this guy says with his vision, but there's one thing that is real here, and I will comment and explain. So, what is known about Dr. Everett at the beginning of the zombie outbreak is that when the outbreak began, back in 2010, Dr. Everett was part of a team of scientists dedicated to studying the post-apocalyptic environment. Yeah, he wasn't the only one. In the beginning, there was more than one scientist, in this case a team who wanted to study the patterns of zombies to make everything that was happening to the world, no matter how catastrophic, something scientific. But what is told in the story is that, unfortunately, right at the beginning of the outbreak, they had a disagreement, had personal problems, and did not want to continue together. Thus, having lost his companions, Dr. Everett wandered for 2 long years trying to find motivations in humanity. It's even something he reveals in the episode as well. He wandered all that time until he located a ranger station located in the south of the United States, a region called That Sector. Yeah, a very interesting place that, according to the story, this region is located on a triple border between the state of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. It was there that Dr. Everett met a former colleague named Dr. Mosley, and the two together began to study the species of zombies that Dr. Everett reveals that he put a name for this species of zombies, a scientific name called Homo mortis. Yeah, it's the first time in the Walking Dead universe that we see someone calling zombies by their scientific name. That's why this episode ends up becoming interesting. One thing to advance is that the idea of this episode, the proposal of this episode, it's very interesting, it's so important. This episode has some points to expand this universe of The Walking Dead in absurd level. They were supposed to reveal much more in a wonderful way, but they wanted to execute it in a more restricted way, which attracted some criticism, but still has very interesting points. In the story, it is told that following his studies there with Dr. Mosley, Dr. Everett began to notice that his colleague was getting sick sick, and soon he discovered that his colleague had cancer. And it was at that moment, we don't even have scenes of that, so I will put something that represents this in the scene, but it was at that moment that Dr. Mosley sent a last wish to Dr. Everett, so that he could turn into a zombie and be used for research, to collaborate with the cause, even that. Dr. Everett then accepted the idea, the desire of his colleague, and when he died, he kept him as a zombie and continued using it as their research. And there it is. It is revealed that in the following years, Dr. Everett became more and more focused on studying the zombies. So he began to believe less and less in the human race. He began to understand that zombies were a right path for humanity. It was something of nature. They should let the natural cycle go. But so, despite being a very crazy idea, there is a reason that led him to understand it. He began to realize that since the zombies began to destroy humanity, the fauna began to grow, and also the flora began to live and spread around the world in a greater quality, having the world for them the way it is meant to be. In fact, these images that are appearing on the screen are some of the episode itself, the beginning of the episode itself, which starts as if it were a documentary from National Geographic or Discovery Channel. I don't know which one do you prefer there, but by the time the episode begins, we are located 10 years after the beginning of the apocalypse. It was this time that Dr. Everett spent studying the zombies, and we even see some images of him filming the behavior of zombies and animals through a drone. There, during his research, he notices a clear problem that he has been facing for a while. Several zombie bodies are scattered. These zombies he protects and helps them propagate, and in this case, these headless zombies are explained because they are hunters who invade this dead sector, which is where he lives, protects the zombies and studies the fauna and flora. These hunters invade to take the heads of zombies to use as a trophies, and it is in the middle of his drone investigation that Dr. Everett locates another survivor, who he suspects is from this group, but who is actually not. Her name is Amy. She's completely lost in the forest, separated from her group for days. That's what is revealed, and hurt too, in addition to being hungry. There, through the drone, he begins to notice a herd of zombies that is about to kill Amy, and is willing to document all this, which indicates that he has already done this several years ago, several times with several survivors. In the scene, we see Amy falling, completely injured, and the zombies advancing, ready to kill her. And Everett was planning to let the natural cycle of things go. He only intervenes and saves Amy when she, in an attempt of resist the zombies, damages the transmitter of one of the zombies, which in this case is the favorite zombie of Dr. Everett, and that he protects more, the specimen 21. He considers it with that name, and then we will understand more about its importance on the way Amy, who is completely screwed and in need of help, tries to be friend of Dr. Everett, but he ignores her. He had only saved her to prevent her from causing destruction to his zombies, and precisely for this reason, he does not intend to continue helping her. Dr. Everett in this scene reinforces his idea that he believes that humanity only makes everything worse, and so the journey of the two continues. I will advance a little more in the story because it's not to tell the whole part about Amy. The interesting part is about Dr. Everett, but let's keep going. He accepts her at the outpost where he is based, helps her a little. It's a journey of Amy trying to gain his trust while he needs to solve the problem of the zombie's transmitter that disappeared, specimen 21. So his mission now is to find his zombie. He puts it as something fundamental, and that's the point that Amy herself strange, as if it were someone important to him. Anyway, the story continues with the two together as Amy tries to help Dr. Everett to locate the zombie. There comes a time when Dr. Everett is very cold. They witness zombies attacking members of Amy's own group. Amy is extremely anxious to be able to save them, but Dr. Everett doesn't let her. He holds her with his strength so that she lets the natural order of things follow. But that's when, during the battle and that whole situation, specimen 21, which is precisely the zombie that Dr. Everett was looking for, he ends up being pushed into a river. The zombie falls there and is in danger, which generates despair in Dr. Everett, who is injured because Amy's reaction. He asks Amy for help with that situation because he can't let specimen 21 die. After all this situation, Amy realizes the mediocrity of this doctor. In this case, in her view, and precisely in order to not become someone like him, she says that she prefers to die than live this way, and that's why she separates from him. So at the end of the episode, after some time, Dr. Everett unfortunately ends up finding Amy's camp with all the dead members just there, zombified, and even Amy herself as a zombie, which makes him sad. But at the same time, the end of the episode shows that Dr. Everett, despite this journey with Amy, hasn't changed much. He continues with the same missions, the same plans, the same patterns as at the beginning. He remains cold to humans, believing that nature must take its course with the zombies destroying humans, puts Amy herself to be part of the zombie pack there in the dead zone to use her as studies, increasing and creating more and more zombies, and we will get to the point to talk about after that. But an important issue also during the episode that I need to talk about is the division of the zombie category that he reveals there. It is during the episode, while describing the types of zombies, he describes some specimens that have specific capabilities. For example, this specimen he calls a sunflower, which in this case has a well-evolved hearing capacity. It is usually the first zombie to respond to the sounds. He also talks about the gamma specimen, which was one of the first specimens of it at the beginning of the outbreak, which was able to withstand several attacks from humans and animals. It is a specific type of zombie that has more resistance. And there are also the specimen 21, which he fights so hard during this episode that in the end it ends up being revealed to be Dr. Mosley, the one who died in the past, who put himself as a zombie for the tests there. And it was precisely this zombie that Dr. Everett reveals that he gave him access and managed to get him so close to the herd to be able to study the herd with better quality, study more details about the zombies, including discovering that there is always an alpha, a type of zombie that always leads the herd, who guides the path of them. And it is a big reference to the Whispers. Yeah, we have the alpha that is the leader in this group, also used to guide the herds using the alpha as the leader. But back to the point of the end of this episode, that we are 10 years after the beginning of the outbreak. Yeah, Dr. Everett finishes this story in Tales of the Walking Dead alive. He is another survivor who ends his story alive with the path to follow. Even in the bad side, if we think about it, he ends up in the same way, increasing his pack of zombies for study, increasing what he can have of experience there in his dead sector, that is the region he uses as a study, which may mean, for example, that in the current moments of the Walking Dead universe, while the events of other series take place, Dr. Everett is still alive in this region studying zombies. He may have a much larger herd with many more zombies, but he may have learned much more from the behavior. He's literally a professional guy in zombie behavior in this universe. And then, going to the theories part, I like to go crazy with ideas about the future of the Walking Dead universe. Like in the future, when they go after a cure, when they bring all the characters together and want to follow this path, they could very well bring Dr. Everett, put someone to go there to meet him, convince him to the side of good as he uses the research and evolutions he had on the behavior of zombies to collaborate. It will be very useful, and this is one more story, a promising story that, who knows, one day they could bring a sequel. Go write in the comments what you think. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so don't miss anything about this universe of The Walking Dead. If you like this video, leave the like button, it helps me a lot with the promotion. Thank you for watching this video, I'll be back soon, and bye!